Nice clean pull again. I mean, the steering's sensitive, but definitely controllable. So we're gonna hit stop, read, backed it up, 92 miles an hour. So consistently 92. I'm pretty confident we can hit 100 miles an hour with this thing. But there we go. Like, comment, subscribe. 92 miles an hour. All right, welcome back. So back on the bench with a few cars. Wanted to talk about a couple of comments that I read about cutting stuff and that kind of stuff to turn this thing into a brushless system. I don't really know. I just want to show you guys exactly how I converted it and what I did. So here is the vortex. All I did was pull out. Here's the brush kit. As you see, brand new. Here's the lid to the receiver box. Off that, I didn't bother swapping it out because when you unbolt the system from here, I just took the lid with it because the ESC sits right on top, right where this one sits. So it fits the same bolt pattern. Switch, everything's attached to this. Now, I did have to split this open because I didn't want to use the slipper clutch out of the vortex. Because I had switched it, I believe, to a metal gear on this vortex, because this is the one I bought that, I'll show you what I mean. So this is the one I bought where you stick the screw on the inside here and tighten down your slipper clutch. Oh, it's the other end. Right there. So that's how you tighten down your slipper clutch. And mine was broken right off the bat. On the back side of this plate, if you tighten this down too hard, it literally breaks the brass piece that's on the back side. It comes disconnected, and then the bolt really never gets loose and the slipper clutch is loose. So rather than dealing with all of that, and here was the little piece I was talking about. It goes like this, I think, or like this, maybe. Yeah, like that, to kind of hold that thing in. Then your drive shaft goes into it. And this doesn't have the center support bearing, and this is the Vortex drive shaft. So all of this I pulled out, which does fit right into your brush system like this. Right now I have a big pinion on this brush motor, but that would fit right into there. It's all interchangeable. There's nothing to cut, nothing to modify. It just would all go together, and if I want to turn this into a brush system, this would clip on. So that's what was pulled out. And then here is the pinion from my Vortex which is an 18 tooth. So all of this stuff I left with the Vortex because all I wanted was the ESC and the motor. But rather than just take the motor off the motor mount, I just swapped the whole assembly and put the stock slipper from the new line because I like the spur gear on it and I like the nut on the outside, and I wanted to see if everything could handle a brushless system. So that's what I did. So didn't cut anything, didn't have to modify anything. And honestly, I really didn't need to pull out the 4S system from that, considering I do have a 4S system. But this platform, people are kind of surprised on how fast the Vendetta went, and I'm not. I've done a whole build series on my Outcast. It was my Outcast 4S that I converted to 6S. And I'll link that build series in the description below on what I did to this to convert this to 6S to be able to handle the power. And this has got the old BLX system in it. So it's got the BLX motor and the old 185 BLX ESC. And it works great. It's just a lot of power. Now, I did do the hot racing diff upgrade. So this does have metal front and rear diffs, and it has the metal spur in it. And so this is full metal gears to make sure that it can handle the power. Because on 6S, bashing it on the trigger, off the trigger, landing on trigger, that kind of stuff, you can possibly strip out these diffs, differentials, front and rear. So, haven't had a problem with the drive shaft yet. I do have some slop starting to generate in this drive shaft on 6S, but 4S, running this whole thing on 4S, I don't know. I like 6S power. I like overpowering stuff. We used to overpower the Slash 4x4s on 6S all the time. And you would break stuff. This has still got the plastic axles in it, you know. And that's why I know this line that Arrma came out with will handle 4S no problem. I did run the Vendetta on 4S. I did change out the ESC so that I'm able to run on 4S. So I pulled out the ESC and plugged in a different ESC and left everything else the same. And we're almost at 100 miles an hour. Now, if you bought a Slash and you tried to get that to 100 miles an hour, man, being a 1/10 scale takes a lot of work. This 1/7 scale or 1/8 scale, but it'll handle the power no problem. And I knew it from their 4S line. And as you see, this does have a brace installed. I love this Outcast. This thing's a beast. It's an animal. I never bashed it. As you see, chassis is nice and smooth. But I was using it on road, and the thing's just an animal. So for them to give us an on-road platform, lower down the center of gravity and all that stuff, I think is awesome. It's a very easy conversion. And you gotta love this body. Look at that body. You know, this thing went 50 miles an hour today. Not a scratch on it. And here is the body laid on over the Outcast. You can see how much longer it is in the rear. So definitely definitely longer than the Outcast. But as you see, same ESC that came in the Vortex. And then I just left the 3200 motor. Now, I think the motor that's in the Vendetta is better for on-road. So my choice would be, and as you see right here, the nut, the drive shaft, everything. Remember, this is on spring. So even if this slipper was longer, it's on a spring. There's nothing, there's no shafts, nothing to cut here. Everything clips on. It's not longer, it's not thicker. There's nothing special going on here to put this, I guess they're calling it the Mega Slipper, into any of the 3S platforms. So it fits right in, no issues. And just 3S power. That's all you really need. For what this RC is. Now, if you wanted to make this thing faster, I would put the Vendetta motor into this thing. I would put a 4S ESC on this thing and run it on 4S. But with these knobby tires, it's just going to tear them up. It already started to tear them up. That little bit of drifting I did on 3S. You know? So, just wanted to give my 2 cents on what I've done. I will be popping the lid to the Vendetta here very soon to show you what I've done to get to the 100 miles an hour. But right now, it's just an ESC change. That's it. Everything else is stock. I just put an ESC that would handle a 4S capable battery. And that's it. Left the speed wing, speed everything on it. And I did remove the little piece in the back. And you saw how stable it was. The thing's super stable at speed. It didn't try to lift at all. I was always in control of it. AVC was off. I always turn it off because I don't want those high-speed wiggles. That's just going to make me crash. I've never tried to turn up AVC. Every time I've tried to turn up AVC on a speed run, I get that, I call it a death wobble, and it starts fishtailing. People say just turn down the AVC a little bit, but I just turn it off, and I think that's why I have so much problems getting started. Once I'm started and I can lay into the trigger, I don't have to touch the steering at all. I mean, it's just a very fine movements. The steering is very sensitive on it. Steering servo works really good on it. Works really good on the Infraction as well. But there you go, guys. Just wanted to let you know that's what was done with these two things on the speed rip. And I know this platform will handle 4S power or even 6S power, because I've done it right here with the Outcast. So there you go, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll check you guys out on my next video. Stay tuned for the 100 mile an hour pass with that thing. It's coming up here very shortly. Thanks for watching. Okay, I can't see it. Oh, I see it. Really small car. Really tiny car. It did stay down, which I'm impressed about. Did we hit 80 miles an hour? Let's get off the road and find out. So, stop, read, 92 miles an hour. Look at that, guys. 92, first pull. Nice clean pull again. I mean, the steering's sensitive, but definitely controllable. And the distance it's doing it in is amazing. We're gonna let it cool down. You don't want to do too many back-to-back runs. Even though the temps aren't up, battery, ESC, everything's working pretty hard with tall gearing. So you don't want to just keep running and running and running, even though that would be optimal for what we are doing, especially trying to warm up. Because like I said, one of these, I really want to make my warm-up car. So we're gonna hit stop, read, backed it up, 92 miles an hour. So consistently 92. I'm pretty confident we can hit 100 miles an hour with this thing. But there we go. Like, comment, subscribe. 92 miles an hour.